Hey y'all, I'm Ms. B, and we're here to talk about day 9 of the United States versus Sean Combs. So, as I stated in my previous videos, the two YouTubers that I do look at is Armand Wiggins and Tisa Tells. I would say Armand today was reading directly from the transcripts of the from the court documents versus his own notes that he got from Lauren LaRosa. And I caught a couple of Tisa Tales updates during lunch break and when I had time to look today. So they ended yesterday. I didn't recap yesterday. Y'all know this is a very dark trial. This is a lot of heinous things, a lot of heinous craziness going on. So I be trying to I be needing to get it off my spirit and get it away from me, some sage or something. But anyway, yesterday they ended with one of Diddy's assistants, George Kaplan. And basically, I'm going to be really short with him because I really want to get to Kid Cudi. Basically, he talked about an incident in 2013 on a private plane where, everybody, all Diddy bodyguards, all his staff was on this private plane. Diddy and Cassie were in the back, kind of like a partition was there. It was ajar, and he would kind of turn around and look. He heard her screaming. He heard a lot of stuff going on, a lot of beating. He said he happened just to glance in there, and Diddy had like an open bottle like hovering over her, and she had like her feet up, like trying to help him. And at one point she screamed and yelled and was like, does anybody see this? Does anybody hear this? Nobody helped her, not even this assistant, George Kaplan. Also wanted to say George Kaplan came into court. He didn't want to be there. He was about to plead the fifth until they gave him immunity. He listed incidents of different abuse tales of Diddy. One time he saw Diddy like basically playing baseball with Gina with green apples, throwing them at her like bow, like he's in a part of the Yankees or something. Could you imagine somebody just sitting there throwing green apples and you ducking? This man is crazy. But anyway, he also talked about Diddy calling him into his bedroom. They asked him what the bedroom was. He said Cassie was on the bed. She was distraught. Diddy was in the bathroom. He asked him to go to CVS and get some items for Cassie, which was numbing cream. What did I write there? Numbing cream, witch hazel, which is like for wounds and stuff. Yeah, anti-swelling lotion and witch hazel and things like that to help Cassie with all her bruising and all the beating up that Diddy had done on her. And he used the company credit card, Combs Global LLC. That goes back to the RICO. He was using his business accounts, his business credit cards to cover up crimes, right? That's the RICO. And then he also said, they also asked him, like, who approved this? He was like, KK. I want to know what KK is. Did KK flip on Diddy? Where is KK? He used to always shout out KK. Even when after the feds raided his homes, I remember seeing him and KK, they would snap pictures, like long lens pictures when he was in Miami on Star Island, of him and KK sitting there talking. So that was basically the gist of George Kaplan, the assistant. He said he quit because and honestly, he came off as he's a fan. He was like going on about how Diddy's a great businessman and Diddy's this and Diddy's all these things, but he had to quit because he couldn't take the violence and he was scared. The thing behind everybody that was around Diddy, he was scared for his life. And then also his dad got sick and was in Boston with prostate cancer, and he couldn't do the job and he quit. Also, so let's get to Kid Cudi. We've been hearing about this Kid Cudi blowing up the car situation for years now. So they get into Kid Cudi. He said he met Cassie at a music event in 2008. He said when he started dating Cassie, he was under the impression that Cassie and Diddy were broken up. And he said he, was talking to her. She talked to him on the burner phone. One time she asked him to come pick her up. She was kind of distraught. He came and picked her up. My thing of it is, when people keep saying, oh, Cassie cheated on Diddy. How Cassie gonna cheat on Diddy when Diddy is with Kim, Diddy's with Gina, and Lord knows who else? They not even married. Like, I don't understand why people keep saying, oh, Cassie's a whore. She was messing with Kid Cudi and Diddy and all these Michael B. Jordan, all these people at the same time. This lady was not with this man. Honestly, he was just like a vessel to do his erotic, sick fantasies on. That's how I take it. But let's move on. Anyway, so after that, they asked him, what else was going on. He was like, one time, Capricorn Clark. We know about Capricorn Clark. She was also one of Diddy's assistants. She was kind of high on the food chain. I don't think as high as KK. KK was his chief of staff. Like, she was running the business, running his day-to-day. Even on the HBO Max documentary, when it was another assistant, was like, well, who would you get the orders from? It'd be KK. But we know about Capricorn Clark. She been talking about Diddy was the devil for a long time, and she quit. He said Capricorn Clark called him in tears, and he was like, "What's up?" He was like, "He's in your home." He was like, "Who?" He was like, "Diddy, Sean Combs is in his house," and they forced Capricorn Clark to come with them to go to his house. So Kid Cudi called Diddy and was like, "MFR, what are you doing in my house?" And he was like, the whole time Diddy was calm. He also called the police. By the time the police got there, his door was like, it looked like nothing had happened. But he also mentioned his cameras were moved. They were different positions. They weren't the same position that they all were before. And he noticed nothing had been touched except some Christmas gifts had been unwrapped or whatever. But Amon Wiggins mentioned this, and I guess it's some LA stuff, or I don't know. I'm not into all of this craziness that be going on. This thing called moving the cup, basically letting you know I've been in your home, but nothing's stolen, nothing's taken. You know how like when you walk in your house and you be like, I know I left that cup over there, or I left something here and it's moved. Kind of like that. Nothing was damaged. They did lock his dog up in the restroom, and they was asking, what was the stage of, what was the mindset of the dog? Animals are smart. And he was like, I never locked my dog in the bathroom. I used to let my dog roam. And allegedly, Armand Wiggins said the rumor on the street was Diddy had drugged the dog. Diddy had drugged, like, Lord, like this man is. This is why I can't do this every day. Like, this man is crazy. And he also, mentioned like, it was like different little things moved around. Like Armand Wiggins said, they call it moving the cup. It's, I guess it's some LA stuff. I remember a long time ago, he mentioned this too. And I remember it too. Ray J was saying somebody had did that to his house. And everybody thought Ray J was crazy. Well, I do think Ray J is crazy, but nobody believed Ray J. But allegedly, Diddy came in there, moved some stuff around, didn't destroy nothing, but locked the dog up and drugged the dog. And after that, he said he called Diddy. Diddy answered the phone. He wanted to fight, but then he had to think. I'm glad Kid Cudi, I'm glad he thought. He was like, hold on, wait. Let me calm down. Let me breathe. Some inhale, exhale breaths, because he don't know. He finna pull up on Diddy. Like, he had to think about it. So that didn't never happen. So in Christmas of 2011, he spent Christmas with Cassie and her family in Connecticut. He said Puffy would keep calling him periodically. He didn't want to talk to Puffy because he was like, you in my house, like, I don't want to deal with you. You did something to my dog, like, leave me alone. He didn't want to talk to Puffy. So January 2012, his dog's babysitter called him and told him that his car was on fire. They pulled up pictures in court of the Porsche that was on fire. Like, if you go to the internet now, you can see pictures of the car all like on fire. Apparently somebody had cut the roof and threw a Molotov cocktail in there. If you don't know what a Molotov cocktail is, like a homemade bomb. It's basically you stuff a whole bunch of explosives in there and blow things up. He blew up his car. So after that, he called Diddy. Called Diddy. Called Diddy, and he wanted to talk. So D-Rock and KK and Capricorn Clark has been mentioned throughout this trial, and we only on day 9 numerous times. So I wonder what's the status with D-Rock. we already know about Capricorn Clark. I think she's the next to testify when they come back. D-Rock set up a meeting along with Kid Cudi's manager to meet at Soho House in LA. He said during that time, Soho House had like meeting, like you go in there and it's like meeting rooms or whatever. He said he walked in there and it was like, it's like a ceiling to floor windows, and Diddy just standing there with his hands behind his back. He said looking like a Marvel supervillain. And this reminds me, I don't know what Halloween it was, 2023, wasn't 2024, 2023, 2022, when Diddy dressed like the Joker. Y'all don't remember that? Like, he was in character, like he was all through the streets, he was laughing, he was acting so crazy like the Joker, like real demonic, real just insane. So I remember one time he had pulled like Tyler the Creator over in the middle of the street and Tyler the Creator looking like this he still in character? Like, he taking this Halloween stuff real serious. When Kid Cudi said that reminded me of that Halloween when Diddy was like the Joker. He didn't break character the whole night. I remember Kim Kardashian even said that on her Instagram when she had posted like her pictures, and she was like, yeah, Diddy didn't break character all night. Kid Cudi saying that he was standing there like a Marvel supervillain, that instantly went to my brain. Like, Diddy's crazy. It's like something is wrong. Like, he's not well. Like, something is seriously wrong with this man. So anyway, he said he walked in there. Diddy was calm. They had a calm conversation. He was like basically saying, hey, you got with my girl and we supposed to be homies. And he was like, she let me know y'all were like, I thought y'all were done with. Like, I didn't know y'all were still together. And Diddy this is one thing I noticed. Kid Cudi's smart. He said Diddy kept offering him water. Now, we didn't know about all these stories about people drinking something around Diddy, smoking something around Diddy, touching something around Diddy, the baby all around Diddy, and then they pass out, wake up, and they don't know what the heck happened. He was smart. Kid Cudi, you was smart for not drinking that water, because it could be something in that water. He said he asked him twice, you want some water? Real calm. We were real calm. You want some water? Do you want some water? Kid Cudi ain't want no water. Then Cassie arrives, and he said he was frustrated with Cassie because she went back to him, because she had already told him that Diddy was beating on her. But let's pivot back to Cassie's testimony. Let's keep an eye on the prize, y'all. Cassie said she called it off with Kid Cudi because she felt for his safety as well as hers. I mean, everybody want to say, oh, so she was cheating on Diddy, she was having sex with him both times, she was doing this, she went back to him, She said in her testimony, if y'all don't remember, go back, go rewind, why she called it off with Kid Cudi. Well, then she said, in walks Cassie, you know, she was more like to Diddy, and I don't know, that was a fight or flight thing she was doing or whatever. Of course, they're trying to paint this girl out to be a whore. Essentially, they're trying to paint this girl out to be a whore. So then they asked him about, you know, the conversation. He said this. He said Diddy was calm the whole time. So then he got ready to leave. He said he got up and shook Diddy straight in his eyes. And I'm like, oh, you looked at him in his eyes. You looked the devil in his eyes. Ooh, only God knows. Only God knows. Ooh. Anyway, and he said, what about my car? And Diddy was like, what car? He was like, no, he said, I don't know what you're talking about. Remember, Diddy does the stare off. And he said Kid Cudi did the stare off too while he was shaking his hand. He said, my car you put on fire. He said, I don't know anything about a car. So then they asked him, have you seen Diddy since then, other than obviously in court today? He said he saw him years later at Soho House. Diddy was with his daughter. I was like, why he took his daughter to Soho House? Anyway, and he apologized to Kid Cudi. He was like, you know what, man? I apologize for all that stuff that happened in the past. So there's your admission. Diddy did all the stuff. There's your admission. Diddy moved. You did the LA move the cup thing, put his car on fire. Because what is he apologizing for? What could he be apologizing for other than going through this man's house, moving his cameras, putting his car on fire? Yeah, that's the last time he talked to Diddy. So Brian Steele, we know from the Young Thug trial, comes in. And Brian still must have been out of his game a little bit today, because he starts the conversation with Kid Cudi. He was like, let's talk about 2022. He was like, you mean 2012? He was like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, 2012. Brian still up there. Are you getting enough sleep? Diddy stressing y'all out over there? Sure. Anyway, he was like, do you know the DNA fingerprints? Brian still is saying this to Kid Cudi. This is the cross. Do you know the fingerprints from the fire of your car were from a female? Because in the beginning of the testimony, Kid Cudi said that he was at his ex-girlfriend's sister's house. His ex-girlfriend's sister's house. And him and Cassie weren't messing around no more together. So basically, they're trying to say, Brian's still trying to say, there's no footage of Diddy. You didn't see Diddy. You didn't see Diddy over there with a gun. There's no camera footage. That's the crazy thing. And we're talking about in Hollywood, where there's cameras everywhere, drones, surveillance. This how much power and weight Diddy had. Because Kid Cudi also mentioned, he kept following up the report, like, about the break-in. He kept following up with the report about the fire, and he never got any information. He only found out today in court that female fingerprints were on the car and the Molotov cocktail. He said he didn't know that. He only found out that today. He said he'd been asking. He had got no response from the fire department, from nothing. This is arson. This is arson. And they wouldn't say nothing. They'll let you know why everybody keeps talking about why the girl didn't leave, why nobody didn't help her. The man was scaring everybody. He the devil. Only God knows. Only God knows. Gotta keep seeing 16 carriages. It's in my head, but that's what I keep thinking about. So basically, the defense painted Cassie out to be a two-time and cheating whore. She was with the freak-offs. She played with Kid Cudi's feelings and his emotions. I would say Kid Cudi seemed real down to earth, real matter of fact. They couldn't trip him up too much. I mean, he even created Brian still on a date. You mean 2012? And you know, yeah, they're basically paying Cassie out to be a whore. I mean, it's the defense's job to raise doubt. And they raised doubt. You didn't see Diddy, you know Diddy, you didn't know who did it, and also it was female fingerprints. But we all know who else would want to blow up somebody? Whoever would even think about that? Cutting the roof off somebody's porch and throwing a Molotov cocktail. And he kept saying Diddy kept calling him. So, like, let's use our common sense. The Shade Room keep only posting, and TMZ, oh, Cassie was cheating on Diddy with Kid Cudi and blindsided Kid Cudi. The headlines, y'all gotta read more into it. Then they bring up the makeup artist. I don't know why they brought this makeup artist on, because apparently I thought they weren't bringing on people who did press. If that's the case, get Aubrey O'Day. Y'all should have had Aubrey O'Day, like I said the other day, instead of Dawn. She did a whole bunch of press tours. She did CNN, several media outlets, telling all Cassie business when Cassie didn't ask her to. And she also was selling, because she used to do makeup for not only Cassie, Kim Porter, all Diddy's people. And she started selling pictures of her and Kim Porter, and Kim Porter's deceased. So yeah, that was not a good witness, government. So yeah, again, they painted out Cassie to be a whore, living double lives. I don't see how that's possible. She was not married to Diddy. This man was beating the dog crap out of her. He messed with Gina. He with Kim. So anyway, that's the recap of day, what did I say? Shit, I lost my train of thought that fast. Day 9. This stuff is crazy, it's dark. But I mean, Diddy's defense is doing what Diddy defense is paid to do. He paying a lot of money for them to do, is paint doubt. A jury has to convict you beyond a reasonable doubt. If there's any doubt, they cannot convict you. So the Kid Cudi story was, very like, oh my God, Cassie was messing with both of them. Cassie was doing this. Cassie, making the victim out to be the villain. And who is Diddy? Santa Claus? Anyway, there's no court tomorrow. Thank goodness. Because this is dark. There's no court tomorrow. And there's no court Monday. It's Memorial Day weekend. So there will be no court until Tuesday. And they say next week up is Capricorn Clark. Now I want to hear what Capricorn Clark had to say. Even before all this popped off, when she left, quit Diddy or whatever he did something to her. I forgot. She been saying that's the devil, that's the devil, that's the devil. And where's KK? Where is his chief of staff, KK? Remember in his room when the feds picked him up, KK phone was in their room. And also, y'all, something even more crazier. Diddy would have GHB in the Lumify. So if you just going around, you want to, hey, you got some eye drops I could put in my eye? You wouldn't even know, child. You be putting GHB, you putting drugs in your eye, don't even know it. And he had that also in the room when they picked him up from the hotel before they arrested him. Anyway, this is Miss B, my day 9 cap on Sean Puffy Diddy Brother Love Combs trial. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye, y'all.